Welcome back, adventurers. Today we have Percival de Rollo III, Vengeful Sharpshooter, also known as No Mercy Percy. This is a 7-hand sized 20 health character with Inventor, Pact Bound, and Vox Machina as his traits, Air, Death, and Order as his symbols. Today I've chosen the Order symbol for us. So, Percy is a fan favorite, as most of these characters are, but I know a lot of people really love Percy, and he gets his own starter deck with a slightly different starter deck character that is a lower power scale, but this is the Percy that you'll be able to find in the booster set for Critical Role Heroes of Exandria. Now, Percy has 2 responses, the first of which is remove 1 tech card from your discard pile. That's your cost. Your ranged or tech attack gets plus X speed. X equals the remove card's block modifier. Now, this does get a day 1 errata to say after you play a ranged or tech attack, because as it's written right here, there's no trigger for the response. So the response is after you play a ranged or tech attack, you remove 1 tech card from your discard pile to pay your cost, and then your ranged or tech attack gets plus X speed. X equals the removed card's block modifier. So using the bullets in your discard pile to increase the speed of your current attacks. And then response, lose 1 health. After you play a card, both players commit a foundation. Now this is not only on offense when you're playing your own foundations and attacks, but it could be if you play an action card during either player's enhanced step, or if you play a card as a block, you can force cards to be committed. Now, Percy's a bit dangerous, obviously. He's very powerful, getting a lot of speed while reducing your rival's stage by committing it. Very strong. However, you do only have 20 health, and your symbols are not exactly geared towards health gain, so you have to be careful how often you use that bottom response, because you're also committing your own foundations. So you got to be really tactical about how you use that. And then removing any cards from your discard pile, sure, there's a lot of ways you could use that to your advantage, some of which we'll see here, some of which I did not put in this deck because this is a day 0 build. It's to teach the basics of the character, not the more advanced combos. But you are removing that card for good, so there is no getting that card back. So you have to be very careful what you remove and when. He's really much a thinker's character, not just a run-in-there unga-bunga type of character. He's no Grog. No offense to Grog. So, we want to make our attacks very fast so they hit. We want to control our rival's stage. What attacks are we playing here to do this? We're starting with Tinker's Shot, a 5/3, 5 high for 5, and a 1 high block. It's got tech, ranged, and weapon. As a static, when this card is removed, your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. So if we remove it, say with Percy's ability, after we play another attack, we can instantly give that attack 1 speed and 1 damage in addition to the +1 speed from our block modifier. Now obviously there's probably better cards to remove with higher block modifiers, but in a pinch, this can happen. And we have Blitz, remove 1 card from your discard pile. So if we removed a better tech card, say an action, or not an action, a foundation, so that we can get more speed because of the block modifier, we can still remove a Tinker Shot with Tinker Shot to get 1 speed and 1 damage. Excuse me. Next we have Inventor's Creation. This is a card I personally am very excited to play. This is a 4/3, 4 low for 4, and a 2 low block, spell, tech, and weapon. Response, remove 1 attack from your discard pile. After you play this card, both as an attack or even as a block, this card gains all keywords and keyword ratings printed on the removed card to pay the cost of this ability. So let's skip ahead a bit. If I play this card as an attack, I can remove Patchwork Baby to get stun 2 Powerful 3, and EX 3, all on Inventor's Creation. In effect, doubling Patchwork Baby's abilities if I have another Patchwork Baby. Or, say I try to block with Inventor's Creation, I can remove a Violent Animus shot to copy the Breaker ability, defensively. So, very, very interesting synergies here with kind of duplicating what your other attacks are doing on a 4 difficulty rather than maybe like a 5, so you can play it later in a string. So it's really, really cool. It's an off zone, it's a low zone attack with an off zone block. It's just a really all-out really good attack. Next we have No Mercy Percy himself, and I love this art. Honestly, I think this could have been the art for the character. That gives you more of a full shot of Percy, but No Mercy Percy just looks so good. And this is a 5 difficulty 2 control, 5 mid for 6 with a 1 mid block. It's got the Echo responsibility, range, tech, and weapon. So Echo means after it resolves, you may spend 1 momentum. You may attempt to play this attack as your next form after it resolves, but when it resolves the second time, you have to flip it face down in your card pool. So you basically use 1 momentum to turn 1 attack into 2. Very powerful, especially when you consider the abilities on this card. As a Blitz, we can shuffle 3 cards from our discard pile into our deck and then draw 1 card. That's really good. We could just get back 3 attacks that we might want and then draw. And then as an Inventor response, after we remove 1 or more cards, our rival has to sacrifice 1 face-down foundation, which is only playable if our character is an Inventor, which we are. But this is a great way if your rival has a lot of flip costs to really target down their stage, which means if you're getting rid of their face-downs, and those are all like, say, committed foundations, and then we're playing Percy's response to force them to commit foundations, they're then committing their face-up foundations. So really, really cool there. Plus, it's got one of my favorite keywords, which is Echo. So, I really like this one. Even if it's a 2-check, I don't mind playing 2 checks. Next we have Violent Animus Shot, a 4/3, 4 high for 5 with a 1 low block, Breaker 1, ranged, tech, and weapon. Breaker says that if you block with this card, your rival's next check gets -X. X equals the Breaker's keyword rating. So if we block with this card, our rival's next check gets -1. As a Blitz, we commit 1 foundation, remove 1 backup from any stage. If we did, draw 1 card, this attack gains Flash. So Flash is a keyword that says skip the enhanced step of this attack. And it's a static, which means it's always active, so if a card gains Flash, it automatically ends the enhanced step, goes straight to block step. So this can be very powerful, not only to get rid of a rival backup, but also to make an attack that your rival can't interact with. But Percy interacts at response speed to give speed, and possibly damage if you remove something like a Tinker Shot. So you can increase the stats of your attack before you skip the enhanced step. Also, if you're running backups yourself, you can remove your own backup to give this Flash. Just pretty good tech there. I see what I did there. And then response, after this attack deals damage, your rival removes 1 random card from their hand. So it gets rid of the card randomly, your rival doesn't get to choose, but also it doesn't say after this attack deals damage to a character or to your rival. So you can attack a backup with this and just rip a card out of your rival's hand. Very, very potent there. Next we have Charged Alien Sploof from the Sam Rutherford Challenger series from Star Trek Lower Decks. This is a 4/3, 3 low for 4 with a 2 high block and the tech keyword. As a Blitz, our rival must commit 1 foundation as an additional cost to play enhanced abilities during this attack. So we're already committing them down with Percy, committing a whole bunch of cards on our turn and their turn. So then saying, okay, if you want to interact with my attack, you have to commit more foundations. You have a foundation that has a commit cost, you have to commit 2 now to do that one thing. Very, very powerful. Likely, your rival's not going to want to do anything about this attack. And as a response, after I play this attack, it gets +2 damage for each other tech attack in your card pool. So if you throw this as like your third or fourth attack, you're getting 4, 6 damage, making a 3 low 9, 3 low 11, plus the speed from Percy, and then your rival can't do anything about it without committing more of their stage. Very, very powerful attack. Next we have Heartbeat Surround. This is a 5/3, 5 mid for 6 with a 2 high block. Charge, Deadlock Stun 2, and Tech. Deadlock Stun 2 means if our rival has at least 11 foundations in their stage, we can force them to commit 2 of them. So if we're committing a bunch with Percy, our rival might build into Deadlock in order to deal with that. Excuse me, Sam. So, very good counterplay there. As a static, while this card is in our card pool, our rival commits 1 foundation after our charge attack deals damage. I believe it itself is our only charge, but that means if this deals damage, they have to commit another card. But as an enhance, our next attack gets +1 damage for each of its keywords. And we have a lot of things with 3 keywords, 3, 4, 4. That's only got 1, but Patchwork Baby has 4. So Heartbeat Surround is a good way to boost like 3 to 4 damage on any attack that's not Charged Alien Sploof, in addition to the speed from Percy. So it's just a really good way to pass more damage on. And lastly, Patchwork Baby. One of my favorite attacks from one of my favorite My Hero girls. This is a 5/3, 3 mid for 1 with a 1 mid block. EX3, Powerful 3, Stun 2, and Tech. Very incredible keyword spread here. So for EX3 and Powerful 3, they have the same cost, which is spending any number of your momentum. For EX, if you use the EX3, you spend any number of momentum. For each momentum you spend, you get +3 speed. For the Powerful 3, same thing, but for each momentum you spend, you get +3 damage. These are 2 different, separate enhances, so if you have, say, 2 momentum, and you want to use both, you'd basically get 3 speed and 3 damage. Not a bad rate for 1 momentum each. As an enhance here, this attack gets +X speed. X equals the highest keyword rating played this turn. So if we use the Stun 2 here, we can give it +2 speed. If we use the Powerful 3, we can give it +3 speed. See how that works? And then enhance, this attack gets +1 damage for each different keyword in your card pool. So on its own, it gives you +4 damage, making this a 3 mid for 5, not including the speed from the +X speed. So let's say this is your first attack and you have no momentum. As long as you use the Stun 2, this is a 5 mid for 5, which is not bad. But then if you count Charge, that's another 1 damage. Ranged and Weapon, those are more. Breaker's another one. Echo, Spell. So you can stack a bunch of different keywords and make this +6, +7 damage just from the keyword boost alone. Plus you give speed from itself, plus you give speed from Percy, plus you have Stun 2, plus you're committing with Percy. This is a very strong kill card in this character. Onto our non-attack cards, we have Cabal's Ruin. This is a 1/6 with a 2 high block, unique and vestige. This is an asset, by the way. As a static, if our rival attacks our character and deals no damage, add 1 charge counter to this card. That'll come in handy in a minute. As an inventor or thief enhance, we are an inventor. Enhance, this attack gets -1 speed. Just good speed hate on every single attack, just making them each a little slower. And then enhance commit, remove all charged counters from this card. This attack gets +2 damage for each charged counter removed this way, and if you remove 5 or more counters, each player mills 10, which is huge. You probably don't need that because you're also throwing 10 damage on something, but could be fun. Then we have Item Box, just one of the best defensive assets in the game, if not the best. 2/5, 2 low block, unique keywords, so you can only have 1 in your stage at a time. Enhance commit, return this attack to its printed speed and damage, return it to its printed zone. If it was unblockable, it is no longer unblockable. I'm gonna reset this card to its absolute basics, especially after your rival just pumped its speed, damage, whatever it is to High Holy Heaven. Just, hey, I'm gonna set it all the way back to printed, and I can probably deal with it there. Onto our actions, we have Showdown, which is devastating, a 3/4, 3 high block. As a response, after we block with this card, we selectively commit 2 rival foundations. And then we're going to lose a health with Percy to make them commit a 3rd foundation. Gross. And then in response, commit 2 foundations. After your rival plays an ability on an action card, we can cancel it. There's a lot of good action synergy in this set, so being able to cancel actions is going to probably come in more handy than you would think. Then we have Protecting Whitestone, a 1/5 with a 2 mid block, as it's a spell. As a static, when you play this card, each player commits a foundation, and then you lose a health with Percy, so both of us commit 2 foundations for playing Protecting Whitestone. As an enhance, though, we can remove this card from the game to change the zone of this attack, so we can make our Patchwork Babies a low, so it's not so easily blockable. If our rival's holding lows, we can make Charged Alien Sploof a high, if we know that they're holding our lows because of Inventor's Creation and Charged Alien Sploof and Violent Animus Shot. So, pretty cool. And again, you can change this to remove this to change your rival's attack zones. So you can maybe change it to high, block with Showdown. So commit 1 for playing it, lose 1 health with Percy to make you commit it. Play Showdown, commit 2 of your cards, and then lose 1 with Percy to commit another 1. 2 actions and a perfect block makes you commit 5. Ugh, that is gross. Absolutely disgusting. Onto our foundations, we have Inspired Design. This is a 1/5 with a 2 mid block, tech, and weapon. As an enhance, flip this card, we get to look at the top card of our deck. We just know what we're going to check, and that's always really handy information. Then as a deadlock response, after we remove 1 or more cards, this attack gets +2 damage or -2 speed. So, and that's not once per turn. This is not a unique card. If we can push our rival into deadlock and we have 3 of these up, that's +6 damage on every attack that we use Percival's response on. Nasty. Next we have Science Bros, a 3/5 with a 2 mid block, unique ally in tech. As a response, after we remove 1 or more cards, our attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. More stats for removing cards. And then as a response, we commit this card. After we remove 1 or more cards to pay a cost, we draw 1 card. So a bit of emergency draw if we need it. We have Tinker's Touch, a 2/5, 2 high block, and the tech keyword. Enhance, flip, remove 1 card from your discard pile. Your tech or weapon attack gains EX2, powerful 3, or stun 1. So more stun, forcing our rival's foundations to go completely useless. EX2 for speed, or powerful 3 for damage. Whatever we need, it is just the perfect bullet. We have Weapon at the Ready, a 1/5 with a 2 mid block and the tech keyword. As an enhance, we commit it and remove 3 cards from our discard pile to add any tech card from our discard pile to the top of our deck. Excuse me. I apologize for all the yawning that I've been doing in these videos. It has been a very trying couple of weeks. I'm very tired. So we can commit this and remove any 3 cards from our discard pile, not only to trigger a bunch of responses, but then we get to stack the top card of our deck, usually putting a tech foundation on top, so we can always guarantee to check a 5. Very, very powerful, or we can put an attack on top if we know that we're going to have a way to draw during this attack. We have Macabre Regeneration, a 2/5 with a 3 low block. As a response, we can commit this card after we lose health to pay a cost, gain 2 health. So we lose a health to make both players commit a foundation with Percy. We commit Macabre Regeneration to gain 2 health. Yes, we are committing 2 foundations, but let's say we know we're going to be pushing our rivals so that they can't play any more attacks, or at least not without very significant risk, we can commit multiple Macabre Generations to gain 2, 4, 6 health on one trigger and try to basically go in positive, net positive in health as opposed to net negative. Next we have Daring Swordplay, a 2/5 with a 2 low block and the Breaker 1 keyword. As an enhance, this attack gets +2 speed. If it's blocked, our next attack gets +1 speed. We're giving a whole lot of speed to our attacks, we're committing our rivals' foundations. This is just going to push us over the edge a little bit more, or our rival's likely going to have to commit even more resources to block this attack, and then our next one gets just a little bit faster. Next we have Don't Do This, a 1/5 with a 2 low block. Enhance, discard 1 card. This attack gains stun 1. We get to stun everything all the time. Just always fun. A lot of low blocks right in a row. We have Mikasa defeats the Female Titan, a 2/4 with a 3 low block. Response, flip after you block an attack. That attack deals no damage. Again, we are a squishy 20 health character. We are also a 20 health character that pays our own life as a resource. We want to take as little damage as possible. We have Eaten by the Bearded Titan, a 2/5 with a 3 high block. It says Enhance Tenacious, or playable while committed. Sacrifice this foundation. This attack gets -3 speed. We are going to be committing our own foundations for our character's ability, so tenacious abilities are our friends. We have Juice Box Hero. This is a 2/5, 2 mid block. Enhance, spend 1 momentum. This attack is +1 damage for each of its keywords. Now what's really good about this is it doesn't say each unique keyword or even printed keywords. So imagine a world where Inventor's Creation removes Patchwork Baby. So it's 4 keywords, or even Violent Animus Shot, or No Mercy Percy. So adding any of those 4 keywords to your own keywords, that's 7 keywords. And then we can discard a card with Don't Do This to give it stun 1, that's 8 keywords, that then we can spend 1 momentum to give that attack 8 damage. That's nuts. That's a lot of damage for 1 momentum, and then we can still use EX, we're boosting speed with Percy. And then as an enhance, we can flip this card. If our rival has 8 or more foundations, we draw a card. I was just talking about stacking an attack with Weapon at the Ready. We can then flip Juice Box Hero to draw it. It's just a simple, very nice combination. Acrobatic Style, this card goes incredibly far in Percy. It's a 1/5 with a 3 low block. Response, Tenacious, flip. After a rival foundation is committed due to your effect, ready this card. I'm going to lose a health, I'll commit my Acrobatic Style, you commit a foundation, I'll flip my Acrobatic Style and ready it back up again. You committed one, I didn't, because that's fair. Next we have What is a Symbol, a 2/5 with a 3 high block, and the Pro Hero Breaker 1 keyword. We're not a Pro Hero, we don't get to use that Breaker 1, but we do get to use the Enhance once per turn. Remove 2 foundations from your discard pile. This attack gets +2 or -2 damage. Just a bit of damage boost if we need it, damage reduction if we need it. All in all, very good. And lastly, Seal of Approval. This is a 2/5 with a 3 mid block and the Tech keyword that is mainly in here because it is a Tech foundation with a +3 block. So we can remove it for Percy to give our attack +3 damage, speed. But as a response, after this card is discarded due to a rival effect, we get to draw 2 cards. We've seen quite a bit of discard in this new set, from cards like Backstab or Throat Slitter, so this can let us draw 2 cards if we have to discard this due to their effect. And as a response, we can destroy this card. After our rival plays an ability on a non-character card in their stage, we get to seal all copies of that card. So if they've got 3 copies of a card that is just repeatable, like +1 damage or -1 speed, they use the first one, we seal all of them, turn all of the abilities off on all 3 of them, say, you don't get to do that anymore. But again, it's mainly in here for the +3 mid block that we can remove for Percy. And that is our first venture into Percival de Rollo III. I'm not gonna like facing this guy. I already kind of having trouble with stun decks, at least locally. I've got a local who really mains Paul pretty hard, and that's taught me that I need to work on my stun defense a little bit. So characters like Percy, boosting speed and having a lot of board control, that's a really risky combination. I can see why they gave him such a low health pool to work with, since he does have to lose health to use his abilities. But that doesn't mean he can't just rush you down and kill you before you kill him. He's going to be a really tough nut to crack. But what do you guys think? It doesn't matter what a tired old hermit thinks, it matters what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. I work very hard on all these videos for you guys, and I'd appreciate all the support I can get. And that's all I've got for this one. So until then, safe travels.